the night. It's the last Monday of July. So much happening. Are you a good parallel parker? Can you parallel park your car in literally anything? I can. And I proved it to myself again today. I said, Frank, don't do it. I said, Frank, just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. What do you have to prove? What left do you have to prove? What is worth it? Do you want to get into this tiny little space perfectly? Like a glove? Without any readjustments? Just zip, zup. Do you want to do this again? Do you just want to find something that's a little bit more spacious? Do another couple of rounds around the block? No. Challenge accepted, you son of a bird. And so I did it. And we'll be talking about that for the next 2 hours. Parallel parking. Among other things, we'll be talking about whatever the hell you want to talk about. I have plenty of stories to pull up here. What's getting around is an old article about just how incredible the chances are that Jeffrey Epstein's Zoro ranch, the Zoro Trust, won the lottery back in 2008. Around the time, 2008, what was that? Was leap year already started? Had it already started, or was it just about to begin? I forget. That investigation that actually included operations over there in New Mexico anyway. Won the lottery. I saw Owen Benjamin tweeted out. I said, get the hell out of here. I don't remember this story. I don't remember anything about this. It turns out it's true. So I want to talk to you about that, about rigged lotteries. Because it's come up on this show before. It's come up on this show before. The lottery, what it could really be all about, what purpose it's really serving. And it gets to the point where you ask the question, what is not rigged? Or you can call in at some point and tell me, hey, there's something else that's rigged to a crazy degree that doesn't get enough attention. So I said, all right, we can do that. Because, we talk about elections all the time. We talk about stock markets and insider trading and whatever the hell else. But is there something that is rigged that you know of? It's like this, this is something you've seen time and time again. Maybe it's like really, really niche to your profession or something. And you've just seen it materialize in so many different ways. And you just want to say, listen, nobody's paying enough attention to this. We have a big rigging problem over here. All types of rigging going on over here. So please come and check it out. Well, we'll talk about that and a few other things. And I don't know, we got mixed news. We can dip into the celebrity encounters. I'm going to do that. Since we've been talking about dead celebrities over the last couple of weeks, what about positive encounters with living celebrities? Or at least celebrities who were at one time alive. A little bit more life focused. I don't know. There's so many other things that we can do. It's just one of those Mondays, trend-setting Mondays, and I want to set the pulse a little bit. So there you go. Welcome to the July 28th show. And I would like to say, I have everybody's names. I promise you this. On Friday, I put everybody's names in from Rumble, Pilled, YouTube, Quite Frankly, Superchat.com. Got a little bit derailed, and I said that when we come back on Monday, we will be doing a drawing. You can also just send in and I also said I would add an honorable mention, a third place in there. So here's what I got: Stephen and Lori, Safety Net 820, Daily Insanity, Winston Dave, Delona, Stowstube, Smoke Sesh, Grandma Grateful, Jay Semo, Dan Schumann, Mary B, Kobe Shumway, It's So Candy, Steve Robinson, Bullish Brown, Joe Martinez, Larry Whitaker, Paul, father of Carl, Jared from Oregon, Jay Britz, Tyler Rubel, and Shotzi. That's everybody from Friday. So those names will be entered into the drawing tonight, and anybody else that sends in a super chat across any of those platforms will also be in the running for first place prize is a full bag of Keto Brainz with a sample of coffee. And then, of course, you're going to get some Polaroids. You'll get a Polaroid, maybe some stickers, who knows. And then you get second place prize, which is a big bag of coffee and a small samples of Keto Brainz. And then some other extras that I just pulled from around the house. I sent out a lot of mail today. The honorable mention is going to be a Set the Charge CD from my band's 2017 release that we're very proud of. And it's probably the last thing that's ever going to be pressed and shrink wrapped because there's no need for this anymore. So it's very special to me. And I love this. I love this album. But you're also going to get some Yes Cacao. Yes Cacao Wild Balls. Going to send some wild balls. I don't know whatever the hell else I'm going to do. So I just want to shower you all with gifts tonight, and there you have it. And you know what? If a super chat is not in the question for you guys to either just add to the conversation, support the show, whatever, do me a favor, like the episode wherever you're seeing it, and when the episode is done, come back and leave a comment. If you're watching this afterwards, comment as you watch. Just leave comments. You have no clue. It pays off big time. And we're trying to get some big time payoffs for the rest of the year and into 2026, which should be big. It's going to be the 20th year of broadcast for me. And it's going to be the 250th year for our Declaration of Independence. And so many other things are getting older too. So that's what we've got. That's all I have for you. If you're part of the book club, guess what? On quitefrankly.tv, on the forum, I have it, The Body by Stephen King, Session 1. Lindsay Sharman is coming on for this Monday night, 9 o'clock, and it's chapters 1 through 9. This is going to be wonderful because that'll go right into a Stand By Me film club. And let me just tell you, you guys know that it is a very precious family tradition for us every Sunday to get together and put on a Hallmark film at some point. It started with a Christmas Hallmark film back in either 2020 or 2021, and we couldn't get enough of just very lovingly tearing it all apart. And it's going on for years, and it's just one thing that we all really enjoy. And I always wondered, how the hell can I can capture these evenings with me and the family and whoever else stops by? How can I capture the evenings of the commentary and everything else? Well, last night I took my first stab at it, and it was pretty great. It was pretty great, and I have it all recorded. So what I'm thinking is, just for my own family's sake, I'm going to be doing that a lot more at home, recording it. I got the microphones in the room, playing the videos from the laptop through OBS, going up onto the television screen. So I'm getting audio tracks, and then I sync them afterwards, and it's a lot of fun. So not only I'm going to build that up just for our family, but on nights that are especially hilarious, I'm going to edit them down into the best comments and put out little compilations so that some of you guys can see and hear what it's like to be in the room for these evenings, especially now that Aurora is in there and she's listening to everybody crack jokes, and she's she's cracking her own jokes. She's a riot. She's getting conditioned right now. She's getting her conditioning, comic timing, all of that. What else do we have? What do you think about the ultimatum for Vladimir Putin? We're going to talk about that in just a second. We also have a little bit on the Russia hoax evidence that's supposedly coming out a little bit more, and a very convenient wiping out of Twitter accounts for really skeevy characters like Peter Strzok, that all of a sudden it's gone. Anybody you know has been blocked by Peter Strzok, but all of his tweets are gone, and he even got them removed from the Wayback Machine as well. So that's interesting. That and more. We'll get to it in a moment, but all I ask is like the show, share the show, comment if you're watching afterwards. If you're watching live, then come back afterwards and just say, hey, and just fart in the comment. Also, if I see like 50 comments that are just like fart. Oh, wait. No, don't do that. I don't know if that'll get you guys in trouble. Would that be considered spam? I don't want you to get, I don't care. I'll take 100 fart comments. I just don't know if all of that is going to, you can like build on it. Say fart number 3. At least give yourself a number so it's not all the same. I don't know. All right. Anyway, let's kick off Monday. Can't wait to hear your calls. They're going to be necessary tonight. You better call in or I'm leaving. That's just the way it's going to be. Be right back.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's roll!
Well, I just saw the news from my buddy Brian Storm. I told Anthony we got to get some of our music industry friends and music media friends to be guests on the Brothers podcast that we do on Saturday nights and all. We got to do that a little bit more, and I'm sure we will. But I just saw from Brian Storm over there at Rockfeed that Metallica is considering, or they're in talks with a 2026 Vegas residency at that Sphere, the Las Vegas Sphere. I mean, I used to want to go to every major American city just because I love lights, I love hustle and bustle and nightlife, and that's not the case anymore. It's been a long time since I wanted to go to Las Vegas. There's only so much gambling you can do, and all the other vices that are served up out there is really just not in my. It's not in my wheelhouse. At least I'm not interested in them anymore. If I had a gig to play, I mean, if we were opening up, I would go to any city if we were going to play some sort of a gig at an arena, or I would love that one day. Really would. Gonna have to do a little bit more working out though, if that's going to be the case. But Metallica, if they show up at that Sphere, I start asking myself, is that enough for me to pop into Vegas and pop out just to see it in that setting? I've seen the inside of it on videos. I mean, I think the Backstreet Boys were there recently, and I'd never listened to them outside of being surrounded by their music growing up and all that stuff. So I would recognize things. But when I saw the actual show that they just put on inside that Sphere, I don't know if maybe they're still there. Maybe it's a residency for them too. I said, damn. Now, the only thing is that would really suck is if I actually went to Las Vegas to go to the Metallica show, get in there, take my seat, the show starts, and I get sick to my stomach, and I just want to throw up. Because you're in this Sphere, and there's so many things moving around you, and I just wonder, I don't get motion sick. I'm pretty good on boats, but what the hell? Sometimes in the back seat of a car, especially if the driver is crazy, that could affect me sometimes. But I haven't been in the back seat of a car in God knows how long. I'm usually the one driving. So I don't know. When I saw that, I said, that would be interesting. Metallica at the Sphere. Well, we got time. Got time to see if that happens. Wish they would, get a shot, have somebody like them play the Super Bowl. How about one Super Bowl with something interesting like that instead of a whole year at the Sphere? That would be even better. All right, here, take a listen to Donald Trump. At first, I read this morning that he was giving Putin like 50 days, a 50-day timeline to help wrap this thing up. And then we got this.
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today. There's no reason in waiting. It's 50 days. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made.
Mr. President,
You know what I don't get, and again, things that I'm not privy to, and you guys, I don't know, maybe we'll get something down the line. Progress on what? Because from the information we've had available for a while now, I think it's pretty simple to know exactly what Russia wants to go forward and what they're not going to give up and what they're not going to negotiate on. So I wish that we could know the details here to see where Russia is being a stick in the mud, because westward expansion that's not really part of it. But then again, leaving this NATO, CIA kind of, the government facade behind is really just, you still have your enemies at literally your back door. So I wonder, again, as I said, was always going to be the interesting thing to see how this all wrapped up, is perhaps that is in some way where the sticking point is. How is whatever is left of Ukraine in any way, shape, or form reliably neutral? Or else you're dealing with the same exact threat to Russian interests down there at their border, but Ukraine's borders have changed slightly since 2021. You know what I mean? So I wish we got a little bit more, but we're not. Instead, we're just getting fed ultimatums and making, what does that all mean? And I don't know. So if you got thoughts on that, please, I want to hear about them. If you got inside information, it's been a long time since we opened up the inside information line. I'd like to hear about that too. There's something else that we have to look forward to, says PJ Media. More Russia hoax evidence is set to drop, directly implicating Hillary Clinton's role. Aside from it, really, maybe it's a crash course for people who weren't paying attention. Maybe it's a little bit more validation, a little bit more receipts for us here all these years later, for those of us who were paying attention. And I don't know anybody else who cares. But I would of course, if people are clapped in irons, that would be great. I don't care who doesn't care, as long as we finally, that would be wonderful. Doesn't matter to me who doesn't care or is not paying attention. As long as criminals go to jail, that'd be wonderful. Implicating Hillary Clinton, aside from the receipts for the Fusion GPS creation. And also remember that this woman right here, her camp was the one that started the whole Barack Obama birth certificate thing. That was passed, though. That baton was picked up by people like Donald Trump, but it was Hillary Clinton that started that. You go look at, many people forget that stuff because they talk about birtherism and how it's some Republican racist hoax against Barack Obama and his legitimacy and all that. It was Hillary Clinton who was willing to say, nah, there's something wrong with this one over here. So again, Game of Thrones. CIA Director John Ratcliffe revealed Sunday that explosive new evidence tied to Russia collusion hoax is about to be declassified, and it points directly at Hillary Clinton and key Obama-era intelligence officials. So we'll see where that goes. We shall. And like I said before, and the war economy, our old friend, the war economy, he had retweeted this. The Wayback Machine. The Wayback Machine has scrubbed Peter Strzok's tweets, which of course is highly unusual. Hans Monkey, is that how you say his name? Asked the question, who gave the order? Well, it had to have been one of Pete's friends. The war economy said, I just tested it out, and it's how strange. If you do it to Lisa Page's account, it has no problem. But Pete, it's right there. It's all gone. Peter Strzok is all gone. What do you make of all that? What do you make of all that? That was one of the FBI resistance ringleaders. One of the people that you don't know is there until a scandal breaks out and you start seeing all the side, the peripheral characters that are working out there and how the FBI actually works and all that stuff. And he got most famous because of his heroic pillow talk with Lisa Page. I think they were both cheating on people, but his very heroic pillow talk. I'll protect you, baby. Don't worry, baby. We'll stop him. Trump being, don't worry, babe. Don't worry, hun. We'll stop him. Anyway, so he was also the one that coined the phrase, because he had a very very important position within the Clinton non-investigation. He was the one that coined the phrase inside of the report that was then regurgitated by people like James Comey about Hillary Clinton being extremely careless to avoid actually using a criminal term, negligence, you know? So if you're extremely careless with national security information, with top secret, with special access program information, you had shared and stored all this stuff on vulnerable devices where dubious people like the Wieners are able to access it and all that stuff, and everything is just duplicated and triplicated all over the place. If there is no motive, if there is no intent there, then it is very least criminally negligent. And that's all gone. He was the one that came up with the use of extremely careless to not use negligent. So we'll see where that all goes. Now this whole thing, okay. So I just heard about Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders had his bladder removed. When I saw that he had to have some sort of, he was calling a press conference today, I knew something was wrong. A health press conference. I don't know, what does he have? Again, everybody going down. He had bladder cancer, and they removed his bladder. And just reading this is just awful. Dr. Janet Kuraja, Sanders' doctor at the University of Colorado Cancer Center, said Sanders had his bladder removed after a malignant tumor was found and that he had been cured from the cancer. He doesn't have a bladder anymore, but he's been cured from the cancer. The process wasn't easy, he said, and he went into what he's been dealing with. The doctor said that Sanders' tumor was discovered early before it had metastasized. And he said, I didn't have any signs, which, of course, is the scariest thing that you can think of. Sanders detailed what he's gone through since the surgery. He said that he can't pee like I used to pee. It's totally different. He said he's lost about 25 pounds at one point. I depend on depends, if you know what I mean. Diapers. I can't control my bladder, so I get up to go to the bathroom 4 to 5 times a night, and I'm sitting there waking up like my grandson. We're in the same thing. We got the same problem right now. We're going to go through the same trials and tribulations. Sanders said that his fans will likely see a portable toilet on the sidelines of Colorado games. That's where he head coaches. And, man, that's just, I can't tell you. The Frankenstein-like surgeries that were pitched to Lauren back in the day. You know, I told you, Lauren, one of the worst symptoms about what she had been dealing with for about 12 years or so was gastroparesis. And that's just a paralysis of the stomach, gastric emptying, like what would take you and me 3 hours to empty our stomach would take her like 30. And it's just awful. Hell on earth. Tell you one thing. I never thought I would take for granted being able to take the woman I love out for a dinner. And that was a big, I'll tell you, the work that she's done with Jay Gulinello has been absolutely incredible. And I was a big part of her diagnosis, to be honest. Actually, for months, everybody didn't know what the hell was going on. She had every test known to man. Nobody knew what was going on. And before ChatGPT, good old Frank over here just typed in, stomach stopped working. And then I got that popped up, and I called up a friend of mine who was a gastroenterologist in the state that I used to personal train. And we finally got what was going on there. But again, that was the symptom. They said it was idiopathic. There was no cause. It's just the way it is, which is ridiculous. But this is the way that things work. And so we heard out what the options were from people at New York Presbyterian, and we even went down to Pennsylvania to Temple University, and we just all these trips. And you should have heard some of the things that they were talking about. All the therapies, all of the drugs, so harsh. They're talking about of course, the gastric stimulators, like putting a pacemaker on the stomach. One doctor even said what we do for some people, and I pray for all the people who actually went through with this, is that they remove the stomach. First thing I thought about was this when I saw that Deion Sanders no longer has a bladder, that they remove the stomach and just connect the esophagus to the small intestine, so that food just at least falls into. It was. It's like, what the hell is it worth? Was that really? I don't know. And then I think about the people who cut off parts of their body preemptively. When that BRCA gene thing started getting really, everybody started talking about it more, and these tests for the BRCA gene and all that. It says that you have maybe a escalated likelihood of breast cancer or something. Heard about Angelina Jolie, double mastectomy. She didn't even have a diagnosis. It was just the presence of a gene, and she cut her breasts off. We were like, what is going on? I don't know, man. I mean, I wish the best for Deion, and he has the mental makeup, I guess, to get to do this and just smile through it and be happy he's alive. But to say goodbye to your bladder, was there really nothing else? And then you think about yourself in that situation. You're scared out of your mind. So I try to see it from all sides. I really do. I would have saved this for Jay when he comes in on Wednesday, but there's too many other things to talk about. What am I going to do? It's already a 4 hours worth of material every time Jay comes in, so I just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, there's Deion Sanders. If you have any stories like that you want to talk about, by all means, go ahead. Go right ahead. But this is something. And now I'll just open this up to everybody. This Epstein story. Now, Owen Benjamin took this, the excerpt from an old article about this from 2008. Shortly after Epstein began serving an 18-month jail term in Florida. Okay, so then I guess that it was already, leap year was already completed then. In 2008, shortly after Epstein began serving an 18-month jail term in Florida, the Zoro Trust claimed a winning Powerball ticket purchased at a convenience store in Altus, Oklahoma, for an $85 million jackpot, receiving approximately $29.3 million after taxes as a lump sum. Wait a second. What? I want somebody to do the math on that one for me. $85 million, and you only come away with 30? I don't. Maybe just because the tax bracket he was already in. I don't know. That's a lot. That seems like a lot. But then again, this whole thing stinks. Epstein had a financial entity named Zoro Trust, which he used for donations to politicians in New Mexico, where he owned a property called Zoro Ranch. The timing of the win, one day after Epstein's incarceration, began on July 1st, 2008, and a reported computer glitch that delayed the televised lottery draw fueled suspicions of fraud or money laundering. And it is all real. It's accurate. $85 million Powerball, lump sum of 29.3. So here's the real question for you guys and gals. And by all means, please call in 914-200-0269. My question is there anything out there that you believe is totally rigged that doesn't get spoken about a lot? That you've seen for yourself as, this thing is just rife with shit. We understand welfare fraud, and you can defraud the government in so many ways. And if you're just even slightly intelligent about it, you can probably get away with a lot because it's so bloated. You can't possibly follow all that. What was it like? Wasn't like 6-month-old babies receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars of COVID money? Like, what happened with that again? There's so much shit. There's that, but the lottery in particular. We were talking about the lottery in particular probably about 2 or 3 years ago. What do you think it's all about? To what end is this serving other purposes? I mean, I was this is right in the same wheelhouse of art. I think that's right there too. Art is a big one. It should be stored in the same filing cabinet at least. Political book deals, art auction sales, that Dominion lawsuit with Fox. That's what I was talking about again the other day. That Dominion lawsuit with Fox is $780-something billion, $1 million, whatever the hell it was. It was nearly $1 billion. I said, what the hell's that all about? Let's see. Take a call. Caller, you're on the air.
$80-something billion, $1 million.
Hello.
Mute my mute there. Hello, what's going on there,
Hey.
Frankie?
Hey, who's this?
This is Raymond, Michigan.
Raymond.
Michigan, Midland.
Ray from Michigan. Okay, so do you have an idea? You want to bring something to the table, something that's been rigged that you've seen before?
Well, it seems like it, what you just brought up, the lottery. Now, I play the 4-digit in Michigan. And every day, so they got a midday and an evening. So that's $2 a day. I played that for like 8 years, and I'm still playing it. The number is 2964. And now they have a deal for $1 you can spend and get money back too, is one off, it's called. I've won one off 4 times, but you think I could hit the straight? Not a damn chance in hell, man. I was like, whoa, there's something crazy about this. If they're using one of those generators or whatever for the numbers,
Yeah.
because what they do is, if you notice, them round circular things where them balls are in, well, they can change each set of tubes, the numbers that are coming down, they can change all that up. And then they also change the tube that sucks it in. If you look sometimes, they used to be just all straight down, but now one is like at 4 o'clock, one is at 7 o'clock, and the other one is at 6 o'clock. And then whatever pound of pressure they're putting on it, it just depends, But it's
so let me ask you a question about that one off. So you're saying that you got 4 numbers, but if you pay an extra $1, you can still it sets you up to win money if you're just off by 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that
especially if you're playing it straight. Well, if you're playing it straight, you're not going to win. But if it's one off, it pays. What is that? I think it's only $250. But then if the one off and the straight matches, it pays $3,000, and then the regular straight pays $5,000. So that'd be an $8,000 hit.
And you've hit.
I quit buying the one off because I was spending $8 a day for a long time.
Jeez, man.
But I was winning on that one off, and then see, there's 4 numbers. 4 unlike numbers. There's 750 ways that 4 unlike numbers could come out. And so you figure all them numbers, and then you got to figure numbers with more than 2 that are alike, 3 are alike, or 4 alike. So it breaks down to 1 in 10,000 chance, which I.
So you said $8. So wow, $8 a day. You spend $8 a day. You said, well, that's a lot. That's a lot. But have you made that? That's about almost $3,000 a year. But you win more than $3,000. You think that you win more than $3,000 a year?
Not even close.
So
because I didn't play that $8 when I was working just before I retired. So
okay.
And
Well,
then
listen.
I went down to just $2 a day.
Oh, that's it. Well, it's interesting what you say about, and thanks for the call about the about not winning anywhere else, but then all of a sudden when you do the one off for a reduced rate, you win a little something. What's that all about? The old strings of the ball, the Powerball things is interesting. Is it weighted balls? I've heard about that they would be rigged with weighted balls or sometimes a string, depending on the size and makeup of the air tubes and all that. I can't imagine what kind of fast ones have been pulled back in the day. You know, I think George Washington was part of the first lottery. I think so. I think it went back to the Washington administration or something. I'll check that during some sort of a break if we get one. 914-200-0269. 561, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, how's your day?
I'm all right. It's all right. How you doing?
Awesome. I'm here in North Carolina, and we are baking.
It was hot today too. It's gonna be nearly 100 degrees tomorrow.
Yeehaw!
Yeah, I know. But you know what? It's just you got to soak. I just try to soak it up because it's just one day in August. It gets kind of mild and it never goes back, and then it's just a slow descent into. I mean, it's probably not as bad over there in the Carolinas, but up here, it's just a long road back to hot.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I don't mind it myself. It's just, you just gotta you sweat to the oldies.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you got?
Well, I got a family member who is chief electromechanical nuclear engineer. And you want the long story or the short story?
Well, I don't know. Give us the attention grabber.
Okay. So I prefaced the question. I said, "Uncle," because I have to preface this question so that we're on the same wavelength. And he's very verbose. I mean, geez, he's got a couple patents. A couple of degrees, and I asked him the simple question: what is electricity? And we're talking over the phone, and it went silent for about 4 seconds. I was like, I think he hung up on me. But he came back and he says, Walt, there's only about 8 or 10 people on the planet who can discuss what electricity is. And I was kind of like blown away. I thought he would have the answer. I thought that was because it was, we've been using this for over 120 years, electricity, and it's endemic in our society. What do? We use it all the time. We don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you go to Tesla and he's got a whole different, thought about the ether.
So yeah. I was going to bring that up eventually, but what did your uncle say? That's where he left it?
No. He went on to say that, sometimes, electrons, we think of electricity as, the movement of electrons, right? Well, electrons have negative charge. And it says one theory is that the electrons actually move down the line. And the other one is that they act like dominoes, except they act in a wave. They fold down and then they pop back up. And they fold down and they just push that one electron charge through it, but they stay in place. I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. I mean, I get kind of blown away every time I think about it because, what's another good question? Like, what is water? And then you look at the Japanese scientists and they're like, well, we can sing to it in like rock and roll, and it'll be, when it freezes, it'll be all disjointed and everything like that. Or we do a symphony and it has beautiful crystals, when it freezes.
Well, yeah. Well, I would have to agree that there is something very mystical about all the things that we rely on to keep us alive. I mean, there is a reliance on electricity that is, like you said, very contemporary, but at the same time, it's quite magical. I remember Bob Proctor talking about this years ago. He would do a lot of seminars and movies and documentaries on law of attraction and vibration and all that. And he'd said some line along the lines of, he said, still the people really don't know what electricity is, but we all benefit from it. And all we know is that you can cook a man's meal with electricity, or you could cook the man. And it's it's interesting there too to even just to think about water, like you said. It's on the surface. It's like, okay, well, it's a substance that covers most of the world. Most of it we can't drink unless it's desalinated. But at the same time, there is such an intelligent molecular behavior to it all, especially when you put it under stress, or if you put it under human focused intention, you could change the way that it reacts and the way that it reforms in many ways. So it's like you said, there's a lot of things that if you were sent to a foreign planet, and thank you for the call, if you're sent to a foreign planet and you had to explain even the most basic things, here to anybody that doesn't have it elsewhere, how would you describe water? So like knowledge is implied here because it's just something that we've always had. Well, I don't. That was a great call. I don't know what it was pertaining to, but it was still a nice little rest stop, a nice little detour. I like those calls. Let's see here. 262, go ahead.
Hey, to piggyback off that last caller, are you familiar with the rice experiment?
With the which experiment?
Rice, like rice that for egg rolls or something.
I don't know. Describe it. Maybe I have.
So basically, you boil up a pot of rice and set it and divvy it up in 3 different jars, cap them, and then you label one hate, one ignore, and one love. And you just cuss at the one that's labeled hate, you ignore the one that's ignored, and then you love the one that's labeled love, like your child. And the way you give it 6 weeks, and the way they progress, the one that you cuss at is going to turn black and look disgusting and horrible. The one that you ignore tends to form like a protective shell, and the one that you love looks and smells edible at the end of the time.
Are you still? Wait. Okay, so what you described right there is essentially the Emoto message, hidden messages in the water experiment. They did that with rice.
Yes, and it was because of that Emoto experiment, which people should also remember was not done in one single lab. It was done in multiple labs across the world.
See, that's really interesting. I didn't know that they did it with rice, but at the same time, what's the first thing I thought about when you started, and I saw what direction it was going in. I think about how rice is, putting an electronic device or anything that needs to be dried out. Like, for example, if you dropped your beeper or your phone into something wet back in the day, a lot of times you would. One of the things that that anybody would tell you to do is to bury it in a mason jar of rice or something, and the rice had a specific kind of tendency to draw out moisture and all the other, essentially be an element for absorption. And to think about its ability to absorb moisture out of inanimate objects like a cell phone. I wonder about the absorption quality of energy as well. I guess it would have to be.
Well, and the fun thing with rice is it starts out wet in the rice patties. Then you have to dry it to be able to use it. And then, yeah, like you were saying, I remember doing that when I was growing up, putting the phone in the rice. So and I've always been fascinated by water in general because it's one of the most. I fear water more than I fear fire. I'll tell you that.
See, there's something there. Thank you for the call.
Take care.
All right. Yeah, there's something to that. And again, Dr. Emoto's experiment with the water and even the rice thing there too. It's a very profound thing. And it's not just a parlor trick. Hey, you know what? We we were cursing our asses off at this one petri dish of water, and we were able to turn it into a dingy yellow, and then we were loving down this other sample of water, and we were able to keep it crystalline and beautiful and pure and drinkable and all that stuff. You say, well, human thought, human intention actually had a physical impact on matter in a scientifically measurable way. You say, well, that's a really intriguing parlor trick. I said, oh, is it? Well, get a little bit more macro with that view. Your body's over 70% water. What is your inner dialogue like? How do you treat yourself? Every time I think about that experiment, I think about how much work I have to do with the way I treat myself. And are you encouraging of that child inside of you that has been locked away since you moved into adolescence and adulthood? That is, in the darkness. Have you been encouraging of that child still, or have you just been beating up on yourself? It's profound when you think about the macro element to it all. Let's take a call from 503. You're on the air. Go ahead. Nope, not today. 914-200-0269. Popped right away. Let's take another one. 765. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank.
Yes. Hello.
Hey. Hello. Hey, this is Namvet and Rugby on D Live. I called in, some time ago. We talked about the priest in the jungle, and I did the ad hoc altar boy thing.
Yes.
I've reported with Delphi, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Hey, wars are rigged. Tonkin Gulf, USS Liberty, Pearl Harbor, and that kind of leads me into the celebrities also, and a lot of celebrities went overseas in World War II and Korea and Vietnam. Bob Hope, I missed him. I was on ambush that night, but I was in dispensary back in base camp for amoebic dysentery, and Don Meredith, from the quarterback from Dallas Cowboys, walked right up to my bed, him and Dick Bass, and we had a nice conversation. It was pretty cool. And then after I got wounded, I was in Japan and trying to get myself back on my feet, and doors opened up to my ward, and Jane Russell and Mitzi Gaynor walked in, came over to my bed, and they had a guy with a little ukulele or something, and they asked if they could sing a song to me, and they did. And I tell you what, Jane Russell is one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever been around. She was really, really special. And I ran across Martha Ray in base camp, and she was doing a little show for the guys. And boy, I tell you what, the longshoremen have nothing on her for some rude talk. But I thought I'd throw those things in and say hi.
Well,
say hi.
That's something that's really that comes up a little bit more often, and I'm glad you brought it up, because like I said before, when we think about things that are rigged, we naturally go to financial institutions. We go to
bingo. That's what I was going to say, that too.
Financial institutions, but you bringing to the forefront wars themselves. What is the real purpose of the war? What is the stated mission? What was the predicate for going out there and deploying the military? And once you're out there, what does the real operation, outside of what is being reported in the news and what public opinion is being ginned up for? What's the real operation all about? And so,
and I'm glad you said that too, because what the public knows back home, back on the home front, and what we know in combat or on boats. Are you still there? I heard a beep.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. But what we know, is like when Israel in '67 in June, I had just gotten to Okinawa out of the hospital, and that USS, was it the Liberty that they beat the piss out of with planes and almost sunk it? Yeah. We knew what the hell happened, and we were on the other side of the world. But the American public got this whole different story. And even on some of the standard media that we picked up, they were trying to blame it on Egypt at the time, and we knew what the fuck was going. Excuse me, we knew what was going on. So war, monetary systems, et cetera, et cetera. But
when you bring up war, and it's something so big, such an operation, because every day during that war costs the hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, when you think about the size of the bombs and the munitions and everything that goes into actually making the war possible, right down to how soldiers are compensated and how they're fed and medical and whatever the hell it is. And then, but when you think about something like, then you take a step back and you say, well, $85 million lottery ticket in New Mexico for Jeffrey Epstein that after taxes was only about 29.3. That really is a drop in the bucket compared to what they're able to raise and spend on a whim for. So it makes you wonder on the lower levels what these, what does a lottery go toward? I guess that is for greasing smaller palms, or I don't know. Or for example, when we were looking at all the money, how Hunter Biden had one of his finger paintings that actually outsold a Picasso. It's like, what? So you can tell. I mean, we don't know what services were rendered, but a transaction's being made in some way. But compared to a war, a lot of it seems like small beans.
Oh, that's for sure. And the thing is, if you look at the value of the dollar from 1970, 71 till now, I saw something, read something today that the value, what it will actually buy from like 71 to right now has dropped by, I don't know, it's like 80% or something, and you say, well, that can't be. But when I got out of the Army, I could buy gasoline for 30, 35 cents a gallon. What is it now? It's 10 times more, at least.
Yeah.
So, that's probably the biggest scam there is, having a private corporation, the Federal Reserve, issuing these debt certificates as opposed to, a note is a debt, a certificate is something, a gold certificate has something behind it. A Federal Reserve note is a debt in our name. And that's the biggest scam there is, because they get it, the closer to the spigot, the more value it is. And you get BlackRock, which can borrow money at 1.7%. And if I want to go buy something, well, it's going to be what, 7, 8, 9, 10%? What's up with that?
Great call, Steve. Really great call. And I have something else I want to throw into the mix here. And I hope I hear from you again soon. Thank you.
Okay, talk to you.
Thank you so much. It made me think about this, because Steve just talked about the value of the dollar and also how that tied in with a gallon of gas going for 30 cents to now. I know that the average is below $3 nationally, but we haven't dipped below $3 over here, unless there's some small gas station I haven't heard about. I've seen it. We're flirting like 305 for regular and stuff like that, which is much better than 360, 370 for regular. So, but it made me think about this right here. I've got this book on Kindle. I don't have a physical copy. The Energy Non-Crisis. I remember watching Lindsey Williams on InfoWars so many years ago. Years and years ago. The Energy Non-Crisis. And when he was on Info, this must have been sometime around 2006, 7. I don't know when the hell it was. But that's when he was talking about, one day he was talking about Kissinger and the petrodollar, and of course what that all means going forward, and how the clock was really ticking on all of that. That we would not be doing any real extracting of the oil that and the energy reserves that we have, the resources we have over here on our side of the world, because of this deal that we struck with the Middle East. We will buy exclusively from you. We can denominate in American dollars, and if you take a portion of all of that profit from us and buy it back into American Treasury bills to kind of absorb our debt when our debt started really getting out of control. Well, essentially what he said is that while all of that nonsense was going on, that helped destroy our dollar because it's all tied to inflation. When you talk about the debt spending and everything like that, that on the north slope of Alaska, Gull Island is what he put it. Gull Island. I think it's over here. Yes, there it is. Gull Island. That America had just become energy independent when they found it. That there was over 200 years of just oil there alone up in Alaska. And that the energy crisis of the 1970s, where I wasn't around for that, but I've been told by my family many times about how, you know, you have odd and even days of who can go to the gas station based on, you know, what your license plate numbers were and all that stuff. And it was Lindsay Williams that wrote this book. It's a very short read, too. If you can find a copy somewhere, pick it up and tell me. Maybe there's something in there you say, he's got the wrong idea, or maybe it's not the whole thing. It was interesting to me because you want to talk about rigging. We're still talking about that today. Why are we paying for everybody else's oil when we could probably have gas? Could we not have gas below $1? So isn't that in itself just an artificial, like we're keeping in status quo? Isn't that an act of keeping status quo artificial as opposed to what it should really be? Almost like the diamond mines in Africa. That there's so many diamonds in those mines that if you really brought them out, they would plummet the price of a diamond. That they're really not that special when you think about how much they are in supply. But you build up demand, and obviously somebody cuts them really pretty. They're still very, very nice to look at. But I've always been told that by people. So there's enough diamonds in those mines to make the price of a carat drop precipitously. Well, whatever. That's something you wear around your neck. What about the stuff that we use to keep our homes warm? That everybody is busting their asses at one job or another, picking up secondary jobs, third jobs, gigs, all this other stuff, just to be able to keep the overhead down, so maybe they can save a nickel. I always think about that. The overhead. And energy is tied into everything. Absolutely everything. 585, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank. This is Mrs. Rise Attire.
Oh, hello. It's good to have you on.
Yeah, since you started the show, I've had something I wanted to call in and talk about, and I started trying. And then you brought up like 5 other things that I could also talk about. So briefly, if it sounds like it would probably be great content for you and your audience, Mr. Rise Attire just released a new film on the Dauntless Dialogue platform. Adam Riva, you may know the name. He made the Flynn documentary and a lot of other stuff over the Truth movement kind of knows that name and that platform. But he put out a new film that is all about the nature of the material reality and our interdimensional existence between, you mentioned cymatics, and you were talking about water freezing and all of the things that you were just talking about. I'll have him send you the trailer because it's incredibly interesting, and it's one of the most beautiful looking things I've ever watched as a half an hour music video documentary. It's absolutely awesome. That
would be great. I love that kind of stuff. And as far as just general science and the sciences of the mind, like next week we have a psychedelic DJ that's coming on, and that'll be great. And then actually the day after Matt Xavier, the psychedelic DJ, is coming on, I have Giulio Anselmo coming on, and he is a clinical psychologist who is going to be, we're going to be talking about the unconscious mind and all the work that he does. He's really, really great. I've already done a pre-interview with him, and that's going to be a setup for what I believe will be a couple of really interesting shows. So I hope you're listening that night. Yeah. What are the other things you have?
For sure. So the film is called Vibes, by the way, and I'll have him text you or send you the trailer. But at the beginning of the show, you mentioned the Las Vegas Sphere, and I want to tell you about it real quick. next year you should come to the Great American Restoration Tour, the GART tour, the Las Vegas episode of Badlands Media's GART. We were there with them this past spring, and we went to the Sphere. And let me tell you, it is fascinating. There's nothing in the world like it. You are not, I want to tell you, I don't think you're going to get motion sick. You might, but I was not prepared for the level of fear of heights that hit me when we went up these escalators about, I don't know, 200 feet or something, straight up, and you can't really see much till you get into the theater. And it is practically, I feel like, straight down in the seats. Like, I was clinging to the back of my seat trying to become the seat. It was absolutely terrifying. So luckily I had some Xanax for the airplane stuff with me in the traveling. That saved me, because then I was able to really enjoy one of the most incredible visual and sound experiences. The sound acoustics are so incredibly tuned with technology in this place that they can aim different languages of the same film at the audience at the same time, and the sound waves cancel each other out, so you can hear your own language in this section. They could be watching the same film in Spanish, and there's no muddying of the sound. It's incredible.
That sounds really incredible. And I heard that the what is it? It's 14,000 K or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it cost $2.3 billion to build it, and the screen wraps all the way around your entire field of vision. If you pay a little more, you can sit, the closer you sit to the stage or the lower down. I would say if you don't like heights, you won't have a good time, like, unless you bring something to help you relax, because I was clinging with white knuckles most of the time. But it is an incredible experience. The whole thing is worth doing, and we were able to do it on a side quest while we were at GART with Badlands. So, you should come to one of those and just hang out with us in general. But I know that you're having your own event, which is also really exciting, and we'd love to make it to maybe one of those too. But check out the Sphere, Frank. You are going to love it. It's scientifically incredible. They had to design their own camera just to film things to show on this screen. It's amazing.
I'll tell you, I'm not a Backstreet Boys fan in any way, shape, or form. But I said it was passed along to me, and I pressed play, and I said, "Damn, okay, well
The film you're looking at is what we went to see. It was called Postcard from Earth, and the seats vibrate. The whole thing is just absolutely stunning. It's unless you're afraid of heights, other than that, anybody would love it. I think you'd love it. Add it to your bucket list. It's really an incredible experience.
Hey, before you leave, people in the chat room are screaming to get your attention right now. Ladies, definitely, they have been begging for, and I know that Rise Attire has created all of the Quite Frankly merchandise to be unisex, but I have been getting so much feedback from ladies who desperately want female cut T-shirts. So just tell Adrian that the ladies are demanding they want their own fits.
Oh, we can do that. We can definitely do that. I mean, we have women's tees and women's tanks. We will work with you to transfer what the audience is asking for into what we have. We're also trying to add more of those women's things, because I hear you girls, and I am one of them. And I think we can at least meet halfway there and get a few different women's things in the works for you.
All right, but if I didn't say something, they'd get mad at me. So I just wanted.
I understand.
I wanted to put that up. Okay, well, thanks for the call. Send our best to Adrian, and we'll talk soon. Call in more, please.
Will do. Take care, brother.
All right, take care. Hey, listen, that it is. It's astonishing technologically. It really is astonishing. Breathtaking stuff. And that's just watching it from YouTube. Can't even imagine what it's like being in there. And we'll see. We'll see. Hey, you know what? I'm not going to take an intermission, but I am going to take a moment to thank a sponsor that we are bringing, one of our sponsors that we're bringing on for the Jamboree in September, since I got a great segue here. Now, all of these sponsors that we have brought on are really health-related, health and wellness. And when you talk about sleep, we've talked about it a lot. This sponsor, VERSO has just a wonderful array of products that I seriously cannot talk about until I have Jay here, and when we talk to them sometime in August. I'd love for them to come on because it's so scientific, and there's so many incredible, enzymes and all that stuff working out here with VERSO that I want them to talk about these different. And I have a whole bunch of questions. I don't want to sound like a fool. And out of everything that they have sent over, I put the link in the description below. It'll actually prompt you, hey, what are you looking to improve? Are you looking to improve your health and longevity? This is the link that you're going to get in the description of this episode. Health and longevity, sleep, energy and performance, not sure yet, whatever. Click through that and see what the hell's going on. We also have a code for you. Sleep. I will talk about this because it's something that I have been looking into, and the 2 or 3 nights that I did not take this over the last week or so, I had a rough time going back to sleep. And it's not because I was addicted to it. It's just because it helped calm me down. It helped calm me down during some really, rough patches. And it was, I will say, the evening being. They have cell being, they have morning being, evening being. That's it right there. This is what I take before bed now. About an hour or so before bed, I put a scoop of this into some cold water. It's got this beautiful yellow saffron color and a little bit of tang to it. And there's no sugar. It is completely fasting friendly. And it's got all this wonderful, nothing in there. Like, for example, there's no melatonin, nothing that is going to keep you groggy or you're going to wake up feeling good. And that's that. Look into Evening Being. And I would say reach out to them if you have anything you want to ask. I'm going to be talking about them with Jay. Wonderful company. I'm really excited to have them. VIP people, you'll definitely have some of their stuff in your bags, and we're going to find other things and wonderful things to give away to the general audience on September 6th. So it's a great company to look into. The description, the link is in the description below. And please, if you have any questions, reach out to me because I'm going to be exploring their full array of products. But the Evening Being, I jumped on right away. It's got the magnesium in there and a few other things. And again, I love the saffron. It might just be mentally pleasing to me just to have that wonderful yellow color pop up as I mix it in. But that's what I got for you tonight. Check out VERSO. And the science, I don't want to make a fool of myself. So I'm just going to talk about what I've been doing to prep for a nice night's sleep. There you have it. Everything else is just, I don't know. You know me with the magnesium. I told Jay, does magnesium give you crazy hallucinogenic dreams? And apparently it does. This was not as much as what I was taking. So I think I found my sweet spot. So maybe you will too. All right, let's see. Some super chats. Stowstube says, "Great Monday, Frank, and of course the Franklies. Hope all are well as always. Love you, brother." And hey, Jay Brits. They're talking to each other again. Karina says, "Chance to win the Set the Charge CD." Oh, see, Karina wants the honorable mention. Witchy Poo, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Let's see. Rothschild Discord has followed me on Kick. Imagine that. Kick is starting to wake up a little bit. And there you go. All right, over on Rumble, let's see what people are doing over there. Hope everybody's feeling well. Wake up a little bit. Shut up, Frank. Everybody's doing well on Rumble. Happy to hear it. And on Quite Frankly.tv, and then we'll go right back to your calls. Safety Net says, "I love this show and I want that CD. One love, Frank. All the family, Frank. Only Lynn." Okay, there you go. Well, hey, if Lynn wins, she wins. Rev says, "Hey, Frank, fart, but also thank you for the remember about the water, the human intentions and inner monologue with us being 70% water. I'm frankly awful to myself and my inner child. It's a miracle I'm not majorly ill thinking of it in this context. Must be better to myself for sure." It makes me feel bad when I think about little me, little far more vulnerable me, just putzing around in there, wondering where everybody went. And here I am. I don't know. It's a big juggling act. We all go through it. and that's why we talk about it on the show. All right, 845, go ahead.
Okay, so I just got the new lyrics for the Motley Crue song that's going to come out. That's going to kick off their new tour. Want to hear them?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
At the drive-in, she was looking at my back door. Okay, done. Back to cancer. So you remember fucking all of the girls going on those walks? We're going to fight cancer. Did you see the Epoch Times article?
About what?
About early intervention into breast cancer being fucking like ridiculous. So my father's 90 years old. He has not seen a doctor in person in 30 years. He gets high blood pressure medication. About 30 years ago, this doctor up here in New York wanted to put fucking radioactive seeds into his ass. And my father, being the pragmatic, unbelievable man that he is, realized, like, you're not going to stick fucking lead pellets of radioactive material into my fucking asshole. My uncle, who had probably the same condition my father had, which is an enlarged prostate, got the fucking chemo, and that dude died at 81. My dad's 90. There is some Nazi bullshit, horrifying medicine that's going on right now, and that's the whole thing. I hate to say the word Nazi. I hate to say it, but Dr. Mengele couldn't come up with the fucking things that they do to people.
Well, I remember I remember learning for the first time about those radioactive pellets back in the 90s. The first time I heard about that was when it was 1996, I think. 96 or something like that, when Joe Torre, you remember Joe Torre? You were a Yankee fan?
Joe Torre lived in my fucking neighborhood, bro.
Okay, so
I'm not being a dick. He really did. He lived up here for a time. He's an amazing man. He does so much for children. He's such a beautiful fucking person.
Yeah,
God bless him.
Well, what I was talking about, and I don't know why that would make you a dick if you live next to him, but it was that year his brother Frank had prostate cancer, and it became known out there. And I think that part of the whole thing was the radioactive pellets, and that's when I heard for the first time that was something that was done. I think it's still, there's cyber knife, there's a whole bunch of other shit that goes on, but I don't know, man. It's all very scary. It's all very scary.
I had a good friend of mine, a dear friend. His cousin had brain cancer, went through all the brain cancer stuff. Okay. They said he had stomach cancer. So the man's like, I'm not kidding you, 80 years old, has been through multiple brain surgeries. They take his stomach out. I'm not kidding you. This is real shit. They take his stomach out. I mean, Jay Gulinello is amazing. We need to get back to some common sense medicine, but to really wrap your head around the fact that, like, they had walk for the cure. Walk for the cure for what? For a fucking made up fucking set of symptoms that they then put chemicals, chemotherapy. Dude, let me fucking die. But this is like we are all going through something. You've been nailing it night after night. I can't even go into what you've been exposing. I'm a population denier. I'm very vocal about it. I know that there's not 8 billion people in the world. I just try to imagine what 8 billion looks like. It's all fucking crazy. Frankie, I love you. I'm going to let you go, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, my friend. Well, I don't know what there's a couple things in there, like the symptom. I mean, people, what do you mean? If people are symptomatic, they're symptomatic. I don't think that's BS. As far as walks and goes like that, I mean, I understand why people get together for walks and runs and half marathons and all that. It's community. It's morale building. They say it's awareness building. I don't know what we're bringing awareness to. It raises funds. Where does the money go? Is it going to a laboratory? What are they studying? Is the money being used well or not? Who knows? There's probably so many good initiatives that do positive work, even if it's initiatives that just go toward patient support. You can't just broad stroke all that stuff. You know, people are going through something like that's challenging, and it scares the shit out of you. It's good to just have things to do and places to go that are inspiring and pick you up. So I often wonder those things too. You know, what's the point? What's the point? And where can we put our energy into that's actually going to help? Because the reality is that there is tons more money that is raised and spent than ever before, and it doesn't seem that we're getting any better. Doesn't seem that things are getting any better. I can't talk about some things that are going on right now in my sphere of people, just because it's I don't know, it's sad to watch, but maybe one day. Yeah, it's a lot. It really is. Okay. So you can call in with a whole bunch of things. Let's see, who's this? I got a voicemail from Problematic Todd again. What did Todd have to say?
Frank, this is Problematic Todd. I wanted to thank you for playing my last voicemail on the air, where I asked you not to give away tickets to Alaska for your jamboree. I thought that was very nice. But then I started thinking about it, and I started wondering, wait a second, in doing so, is Frank going to drive up demand in these markets? Are people going to all of a sudden start clamoring for something that they can't have?
Yep.
And is it somehow going to backfire on me?
Yes.
And I started asking myself, who am I dealing with here? Is it the good Frank or the evil Frank? Do you remember on the Stern Show when he used to have Evil Dave? Who am I dealing with here? Anyway, Frank, I appreciate you. I do hope it's me. I really do want that long-distance domestic traveler award, and I'm going to see you in September.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, you're the one that has, if you didn't articulate any of that, there would be nobody out there that is even semi-considering trying to beat out the distance that you plan on traveling. I mean, it hasn't even been me. It's been all you, Todd. It's been all you. So there's that. All right, let's see here. Who's this? This is from Dan Schumann.
Hey, Frank, it's Dan from North Carolina. Hey, one of the things that came to my mind thinking about summertime and great memories is the best memories you've had while growing up and having relationships with the opposite sex and just contemplating those memories, reminiscing about those memories, reliving those memories, and just cherishing those memories. Mine personally were in my 20s, late teens, early 20s, and I just cherish those memories about going to parties, going on dates in the summertime, and just really, really loving it. Thanks, Frank.
Well, that's a topic for a whole night. You can still call in, ladies and gentlemen, with what do you think is rigged? Are there things out there that are rigged that you know of? They say, 100% rigged, and here's why, that don't get a lot of attention. We did a pre-Super Bowl show about 2 years ago about how every sports game, every championship is rigged. Every World Series has been scripted as if it was a play. I can't get behind some of the claims, but I can see where, I mean, there's been more than enough evidence and more than enough people prosecuted over the years for shaving points and, you know, having referees and this and that, people taking dives. We know that there's plenty out there to say that there's, you know, sports, especially professional sports, even college sports, is not clean as the driven snow. There's a lot of money that is attached to that stuff. So you can call in on that. Don't be afraid. Call in on anything. But this is a brand new category of, what do you say about that? That's a special kind of reminiscence right there. You know, summer love, because it doesn't really compare to, it never compares to the love that blossoms and develops when you really come into your own. So you get married, you find your soulmate, especially if you start a family. You know, that's just something, a whole other level. But thinking back at that summer love, anything that's considered puppy love, It's a special category of childhood, man. Really is. Hell, even 21 seems like an extension of childhood to me now. 23 seems like an extension of childhood to me now. I can pull up the smell of like at least one high school girlfriend's vanilla lip gloss, where you just smell the bottle. I can things like that. I remember the thrill. Yeah, and then you guys remember this too. Like the thrill of opportunity, going to a local theme park or a carnival with friends, knowing that, hey, your group is going to meet up with, some of the girls from school. We haven't seen any, you don't see each other very often because it's summer vacation. Everybody's going all over the place, but suddenly, hey, everybody's going to be together. And you got that thrill of opportunity. That one person you want to score some points with, the note passing, competing for attention, trying to get intel out of a crush's best friend. You got a crush? Who's the best friend? And you're trying to get, like, listen, she see anybody? Does she like me? She ever say anything about me? Like. Getting, and then of course getting intel that absolutely crushes you, that absolutely destroys you. Getting destroyed over and over again every time you catch a reference of them having a thing for someone who isn't you. Oh, but then when it is you, you're like taking some hallucinogenic drug, like a street drug, something filthy. Yeah, there's a lot there. And then you just put a nice warm summertime to it all. It all smells like funnel cake and cotton candy in your mind, even though it was kind of stressful. All of our stresses, they kind of just, they're respective of the times they're in. I love to have the stresses of even just, 5 years ago. Even though that was, I don't know, we were in 6 years ago. Let's go to 2019. But it's just one of those things, man. That's a good topic, Dan. Summer love. We'll see if if that blossoms sometime. Maybe I'll get some good emails on all of that. That was from Dan Schumann. So thank him if you see him in the chat room. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, and listen, here you can still call in. I asked the question on Twitter. Have you ever parallel parked so smoothly into a seemingly impossible spot that it turned your whole day around? Well, that is certainly the case for a lot of people. Frogs Forever says, yes, I did it in front of a crowd waiting to get into a restaurant. And I told him, you better have gotten out of that car, taken the glasses off or adjusting the glasses, puffing yourself up a little bit like a proud peacock. When you got an audience like that and you did something zoom in, tight little spot, got the whole car in, not just the tip. That would be a good, you got to play it cool. You got to act like you've been there. Pretend you've been there before, because you have. And you'll be there many more times again. King Cracker says, only when I lived in terrible Jersey Shore. I haven't parallel parked in 20 years. Back then, I was happy to just get a parking space in my block. Brad Zerbo says, yeah, it's the best feeling. Ill Discourse says, that's dad energy right there. Fatherhood unlocked that for you. It's enhanced it for me because now I have more of a, Lauren has always been very impressed with my driving and my parking. Now Aurora gets to be impressed by me as well. I have a bigger audience inside the cabin. Jules in Maryland says, I'm a great parallel parker, even using stick shift. Well, that's something I can't do. I've never driven stick shift before. Once had to parallel park my 1993 F-150 on the left side of a one-way street, normally parallel park on the right side of the street, executed it perfectly on the first shot right in front of a crowd of people. It was glorious. My man, I just got like secondary pride for you. Good for you. Is anybody else of the belief that parallel parking on the left side, driver's side, is actually... I find it easier. I find it a lot easier, especially when you're talking about depth perception, because there you are right on the driver's side of the car because you're the driver and you can just so much more. I can I can pull in and I can get that to about an inch separation from the car that I'm sneaking behind, because you're right there. The other side, you have the width of the car to account for when you're going on the right side. I've had a history of great success parking on the left side of the street. In fact, I'm often excited to do it the once or twice a year that I get to. Every once in a while outside of church, I get to do that. Just awesome. Then people are like, who the hell is that? Then I get out of the car and everybody gasps. It's an incredible time. It's an incredible time. Wonderful. All right. Let's see. 914-200-0269. There's a couple of things that were sent in to me. I think I'm going to have to save them until tomorrow, though. Jules, go ahead.
Hey, good evening. I didn't think I'd get in to talk to you so quickly.
Well, I just read your comment about parallel parking.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, listen, this happened years ago in my airline days, where this one passenger we had, he would come in on a Friday, throw his keys to me, and let me keep his car, his little sports car, for the whole weekend. And I just, he was always like, just you make sure you don't break it or this, that, and the other. But so that meant that I was out walking into the parking lot for the public. And I saw an old lady sitting in like a big Cadillac, and she had her blinker on, and she was waiting for somebody to pull out from a parallel parking spot. And while she was sitting there waiting, a girl, I have no idea her age, I was in my late 20s, she zipped around the old lady in a little sports car and zipped into the spot and hopped out. I think it was convertible. And so she yelled, so that poor old lady is like there still with her blinker on. And the young girl walks out. She says, see, that's what you can do with a small car. You can get in and out really fast. And then I watched the old lady go, well, she's going to watch me what I can do with this big old Cadillac. And she started banging it into the car.
Oh, no.
No, yes.
She was just going to plow herself out of it.
Yes,
God.
yes. I was just standing there by myself, and I just was like, what is going on? I mean, so think about that. That's way back in the 80s. And I was just like, I've got to get out of here. I'm not, waiting around for anything. But it just was mind-boggling to see that old lady go, well, I'm going to make you eat your words, and just banging away at the car. She put it in the river, she puts it in park or puts it in reverse, get some speed going, smash.
Jeez,
I drove away.
I've seen stuff. I've seen that once happen on a street not too far from this the studio right here, and that's part of the reason why today I said to myself, okay, am I going to do this? And how close do I really want to get to these cars? Because who the hell are their drivers? But in my assessment of the situation, I saw that the car that I would be slipping in front and behind, in between, they both had at least 3 or 4 feet of room between the cars in front and behind them. So I think
Plenty.
I said, okay, well, they're not going to. If it was bumper to bumper all the way, I would have never have done that because I wouldn't have trusted them enough. But who knows? I might still go out there and I'll have only half of a bumper. Anyway, thanks for the call, Jules.
Oh my goodness. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
See you later. Be good. Okay, let's take a call. 256. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank.
Hello's this?
Hold on. This is excuse me, Rose from Alabama.
Okay, Rose, how are you? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yes. Oh, I was just appreciating your show, and I wanted to, and we were talking. You were talking originally about the vibration, and anybody that's had a child, that's carried a child, knows that water and vibration and light work. I mean, if you have a colicky child at 3:00 in the morning, and you take an infant and put them in warm water and hold them, and if you hum to them and stuff, I've sit up nights humming to them, but I'm saying it calms them. They're already in. Why wouldn't it do it to you?
Right.
I mean, you have your inner child, and we don't take care of them very well. We're like, I'm not a child anymore. I don't have to do this stuff. But I mean, it's a fallen world, and we need to take care of ourselves. And and for me, in my faith, it's like, well, God loves me always, and I always have that. And for some people, when they're children and stuff, they always have that abiding love. They know their parents love them, but there are people on this earth that never experience that.
You're right.
And I think if they experience that their whole life would change, that they are loved, that they are beings that are precious and wonderfully made. I mean, you don't go changing your sex and you don't go being in the wrong body if you are wonderfully and gloriously made. So, I mean, just talking about that, I was like, and plus I want to check in on your baby, and she's growing so much, and all this news,
Rose, actually, at some point today, I forgot what Aurora said something about I don't know. She says these ridiculous things sometimes just to get a rise out of me and Lauren and I. Something to the effect of, I don't know. It was about giving her hugs and kisses, or she's never been hugged before. Something ridiculous. Yeah, and that she says, like, she says it knowing that it's ridiculous. But I remember my response to her was, I said, Aurora, do you know that if mommy and daddy didn't give you all the hugs and kisses that we have so far, you would be a completely different person? That you would you would be just a completely different person. That not only just the affection that babies need affection, but like you said there too, once they're on the outside of their moms and they've been born, all they've ever known for those 9 months was that vibration of not only the outside, everything from the outside world, all of those familiar voices of family members that they are about to meet, but also their only really sense of time and of anything is the heartbeat of their mom and all of the vibrations of just general body operations that are going on. They're behind the face of the clock down there in the womb, and when all of a sudden they are born and they're just on the outside. That's why swaddling is so important, and that's why holding and humming and all that stuff is great, and that's why even when we go into the later times and later years in our life, even people into their advanced years, they still have to sleep with oscillating fans on or something that's doing a little bit of humming, and that all goes down to what it used to, our first source of comfort. That was all the stuff that was in the womb, and it's an interesting thing to consider. Of course, it's all vibration based.
Yeah, and you're seeking the hum.
Yeah,
that's what I call it. I'm like, I'm seeking the hum. I want the truth too, and I want to know where it came from and how everything. I'm always been curious, and I ask people, "Aren't you curious?" And that's strange to me because a lot of young people are not curious.
Yeah.
And I had to teach my granddaughter how to use her imagination station when she was in 5th grade for spelling and stuff. And I'm like, it's in your head, baby. Just think about it. And she's like, I don't see anything. And you have to teach them to look there because they can't see anything. They're looking out. And it's just a lot of stuff. And I'm just seeking the hum. But, I've found a lot of hum in my life, and it's all good, but it's a fallen world, and everything's rigged. Everything a person can make the choice about that doesn't have character to make that choice is rigged toward vice. That's my determination.
That's a really, really interesting way of presenting that, Rose. And thanks for the call. That helps tie it into the main theme of the night about things that are rigged, especially for, the lottery is the least of it. Now, of course, there's something else going on there. I'm sure that there's, and not only that, there's the lotto, the concept of thanks again, Rose. It's always good to hear from you. The whole concept of the lotto being rigged, but also the lotto being a curse. I mean, how many lottery winners? I mean, I'm sure that there's plenty of people from coast to coast and local lotteries, state lotteries that they've been able to. I know multiple winners. They'll get 10,000 here, 8,000 here, whatever the hell it is. They're always playing scratch offs. I don't know if it all washes out at the end if you break even or if you're always a little bit behind the eight ball. But there's always those horror stories about people who have won so much and then are just sapped off of, and they attract all kind of bad attention and bad luck. And then you ask, where the hell's the rest of it go? It's the easiest money. The easiest. You think about money that should never be taxed? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Can you imagine that? Somebody goes, it's already, I mean, everything you do professionally is a risk. Of course, once you start a business, it's a risk. You bring something, a product or a service to market, it's a risk that you're taking yourself. You want to see it grow. And of course, as you grow and you build clients up and a little bit more name recognition, a good reputation or whatever like that, hopefully it's a lot less of a risk and you're just maintaining a really nice business. Okay? And that's something you got to build up. But still, you take all the risk. You're putting all your back into all that production, and then there's some greasy ass hand from the state and from the feds waiting for you to give them their cut so they can give it to people who hate you. It's disgusting. And then to think about going into a casino or walking into a stationary store or something like that and buying a quick pick. That's your risk. And then if you win some money, still they're like, give me. Oh, $85 million, Jeffrey Epstein? Well, you can keep 29.3. I mean, just like incredible. Incredible. The splits are incredible. It is the most, you want to talk about fallen world. It is an incredibly evil world out there. You know what else is incredible? This is the 5th time I have tried to do a show where we talk about celebrity encounters. I have the thread here. I have the forum thread, and I have the old Twitter community thread. People encountering, having nice encounters with celebrities out in the world. I just can't do it. It's 8:38. Not going to start that now. I just can't do it. 619, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, it's Denise.
Hey, Denise, how are you?
How you doing?
All right.
Well, I had a few things. My mother-in-law had bladder cancer, years and years and years ago, and they removed her bladder, and they put a stoma in, and so when she was staying with us before she died, I would have to change the stoma. It's like wax ring that you would put on, and then there was a bag that she had on the outside, and you'd change it every other day. They don't even do it like that nowadays, I guess.
Well, that's my husband, the way that Deion Sanders is describing it is just that there was, I mean, I don't know if there was some sort of a colostomy bag or whatever the hell it is, but I mean, it sounds like he's just leaking into a diaper.
I don't think they do bags anymore. I think that it's just kind of all internal, and so I don't know how that works, but I know that hers worked well, other than it was a mess, to have to take this thing off. And then my husband ended up with bladder cancer. This was probably 20 years ago, and so they went in through his unit, and they got rid of the cancer in his bladder. And then he had to go through, I think it was 3 different treatments to where they did tuberculosis bacterium, and they would put it in, fill his bladder with it. And then he would have to come home, and he would lay 15 minutes on his left side, 15 minutes on his right side, 15 minutes on his back. And then he would go into the bathroom and expel it into the toilet, and we'd have to pour bleach in. Nobody could use the toilet for, a certain amount of time and all. But it got rid of it. It never came back.
Wow.
And so that was really a blessing. But, it was a tuberculosis bacterium that they filled his bladder with. And then he couldn't get rid of it until, after a certain amount of time laying this way, that way, kind of moving it around, And then my daughter's boyfriend, his father, on Father's Day ended up in the hospital. He lives in Arizona, but he had come here because his doctors were here. And it was about 4 days after Father's Day. Because he had come, he would drink water and it would come out his nose. So he wasn't able to take anything down. So about 4 days after that, they diagnosed him with stomach cancer and said that it had been less than a year, I guess, because they had done blood or whatever and could tell that he didn't have any cancer then. So, and it had gone to his liver. So they said that there was nothing that they could do. So he did do just a little bit of chemo, and I thought, why? And it was sad because you couldn't try any homeopathic at all because he couldn't drink, he couldn't eat. So he just died on the 18th. So it was like from the 17th of June to the 18th of July. And he ended up passing. But yeah, so that was a stomach cancer too. And he didn't, I guess he didn't know up until he just couldn't take anything down. It would just come back out his nose.
Oh, well, that's not.
I thought, what a way to go. Not being able to taste anything, even coffee. Just the smell of food would drive you nuts.
Yeah.
Bacon, coffee.
Yeah, not a very happy thing. And
no,
not a very happy thing at all. But well, as far as perspective on how it's going out there, I appreciate the call with that, and I hope that hope all's well with your husband still, and I pray for good health over there.
Remember he passed. Remember I did the deer story years ago, right after he had passed. It was during COVID, in 2020. So he's been gone, but it wasn't cancer.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Hey, that 2020 deer scene, that's going to be 5 years in next month. So
I know it.
Geez, Louise. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't remember that part of it. So I guess this call went from one emotion to the next.
Yep, exactly. But I just had to tell you that because I know when they treated my husband, I thought, how bizarre, putting tuberculosis bacterium, filling his bladder with it, and then, coming home and having to, turn, and then go into the bathroom, and none of us could use the toilet till it had sat there for 15 minutes and then flush it. And so,
well, there's
really,
a lot.
But it took care of it. So,
I know. I'm
crazy.
It is crazy, and it's kind of just shitty. You know what? I think we're going to talk about. Thank you so much for the call. We're going to talk about. We're going to talk primarily on summer love for the next couple of days. How about that? Let's talk about being young, like really young. Let's all talk about like really young memories. I don't know. I mean, if everybody want to share something. The Deion Sanders thing was just it sounded grisly to me. I didn't want to, but I guess I definitely didn't want to do these kind of war stories all night. Thankfully, it has not been primarily war stories because I don't want to think about this shit anymore. Really don't. Oh, anyway, let's see. What else do we have here? I don't know. Rare interstellar object the size of Manhattan could be an alien probe, Harvard scientists say, that they might be attacking us in November. Good. Finally, a little bit of movement. 484, you're on the air. One of the last callers of the night. Go ahead.
What up? It's AK. Can you hear me?
I can, AK. Did you hear?
Right, cool.
We might be getting some female cut merchandise.
I did hear that.
So I'm sure
exciting.
you and everybody in Discord is probably very excited right now.
Yeah, I want to make some merch too. We should have a submission thing. Well, I guess that's Rise of Tires thing. I won't.
No. Hey,
but
listen.
I was calling because I wanted to talk to the world's greatest driver's side Parker.
Yes.
What's it called?
Parallel Parker.
Parallel
you,
Parker.
You do it so little that you don't even know what it's called anymore.
I know. I just thought it was funny that you were like, yeah, Lauren is so impressed by my driving.
And yeah,
so is Aurora.
Exactly. I'm a small little celebrity in my in my car. It feels very, very gratifying. Any Saturday night that we go out to dinner, it's like might as well be a stretch limo.
So I know you're talking about like scams and rig stuff, and this is kind of like on topic but a little bit off topic. But so I was at work this weekend and I got a call, and it was this lieutenant from like the county sheriff's office. They were looking for like one of my coworkers, and it was very shady. And anyway, so I told him about it. I was like, yo, there's like a sheriff looking for you. And he was like, oh, it's a scam. And I was like, oh, get the fuck out of here.
Really?
So I like was Googling it. And turns out, dude, these scammers, they're really like impersonating people. They're like actually impersonating sheriffs and stuff now.
Well,
so if you guys ever get a call like saying that you like have a warrant out for your arrest, you got to pay money, like don't fall for it.
But wait a second. Do you remember what we were talking about when I think Skip from Patriot Protect called in a couple of weeks ago when the cybersecurity stuff. You remember what he said about the scammers who impersonated Marco Rubio?
Yeah.
So you talk about people who are impersonating local sheriffs and stuff. Somebody was actually able to get some foreign diplomats to respond to whatever the hell it is they were trying to do, posing as the currently serving Secretary of State. So
yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, that's just that's a couple of step up from sheriff. But I mean, if they're doing that to Marco Rubio, then I mean, the local dog catcher is not safe.
They're getting so good now at scamming. But yeah, I dropped another like a little funny clip in the Discord about a scam thing. That's pretty funny. If you want to play, it's like 30 seconds long.
What is this, scam alert?
That's all I have to say.
Okay, let me go take a look at it right now. Thank you so much, AK.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Take care. Everybody, get on the Discord. People like AK are always hanging out over there, and the link I think is in the description of the episode, but maybe someone will drop the Discord invite.
I'll drop it in.
Oh yeah, drop it in. So she's going to drop it in all over the place, and go and hang out in the Discord. It's a great, the chatter never stops over there, and on select nights it's a nice clear place to take some phone calls, an alternate place. What is this? A scam? The single person that got a scholarship from UCNF. What is this? Let's see.
So you went to a HBCU, so let me ask you, did anybody there have the United Negro College Fund? I've never met nobody that's got it. I think that was the biggest goddamn scam. I think Lou Rawls got all that money. I've never met one person. When I first started doing stand-up, I did all the HBCUs, all the colleges, and I'd ask that same question. Everybody look around. Who the hell got that money? Remember those commercials? Give the United Negro College Fund. Mine is a terrible thing to waste. Well, so is $20, Lou.
That's interesting. The United Negro College Fund. Those scholarships. That's it. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Little, tiny, rigged operations. This is why whenever there's a disaster, I mean, the first thing I would think to do would be like I remember when like in Haiti and a couple other things. If I didn't know a person personally that worked at some sort of a fund, like that guy I actually mentioned before, my old client who is a gastroenterologist. His name was Spencer. Is Spencer? He's still out there, I believe. Every year he would go down to what's it called? Kitts and Nevis. It's in the Caribbean somewhere. And he'd go down to that. I don't think it's like Doctors Without Borders, but it's something like that, where he would volunteer his time like a month out of the year, go down there and do gallbladder screenings and whatever the hell else, and colonoscopy. I don't know what he would do, but go down there and stuff like that. And he actually had a foundation that he was actually the conduit for a lot of those funds, because he was actually able to apply the money locally when he would go down to those places. And I remember at least one of the concerts we put on over here sometime around 2010. We would do Friday Night Live. We called it Friday Night Live, and we put all the bands together. We got the PA. We actually bought a PA system and put ourselves into a lot of debt, man. But the shows were fun. That's why I can't wait to do some concerts. After this jamboree is over, I can't wait to put together a music show with bands and all that. That'll be fun. We'll have a food element too, but there'll be bands, man. That'll be good. So we never made $1 off of any of those shows because we're bartering with the church. We can use their auditorium. That will give them, 50% of the door. The other 50% is getting, well, it wasn't a clean 50 because we still had to get the U-Haul truck to bring all of the PA system in there. We have to get things. I don't know what the hell the split was, but we didn't get anything. It was a lot of labor just to be able to say, hey, we got a gig tonight and people are going to be there and it's for a good cause. But other than that, there was other times that I would say, hey, there's a storm or something else happened, and send in the super chats, match the super chats, and I will go and I'll donate it on behalf of everybody. I don't do that anymore. Say in lieu, if we know the person who's in trouble, we've done that before, but I don't know who to trust. It's been a couple of them. So those, like I said, that Grindstone Ministry, you guys were like, hey, you can try them. We did that with North Carolina, but it's videos like this that make me think. All those scholarships. There's so many scholarships out there. Some of them got to be bullshit. They have to. So there's another. So you can comment. You think about things to like and comment on after the show is done. Comment with things that you think that are rigged to a high degree that people don't talk about as much because it's not as flashy. But even the small things make somebody millions. Even the small things. You think about all the local shit. I mean, there's somebody over here. Oh, here's another one for you. Someone in my town about 15, it had to be 15 plus years ago, got arrested, worked with the town for God knows how long, got arrested for stealing from the parking meters. Like, we're talking about years of collecting quarters. When all was said and done, they had made out with over $300,000. Okay? And you can say, are parking meters rigged? Somebody rigged them. And it was a very patient operation because to get to six figures just through coins. Jeez Louise, my man. I mean, that is just the way. It's the way of the world. That is it. Okay, so Jay Winard says, so don't be a friend of Bubba the Love Sponge if you want to stay alive. Now Hulk, now Dion. What do you mean? Oh man, is that the common denominator here? Bubba the Love Sponge. Let me put Jay Winard in the name picker. And let's draw these names right now. Chickadee, thank you so much, Chickadee. I already put you in. Steve Ellis says, hi, Frank. Am I in the drawing now? Indeed you are, sir. Joe Martinez, thank you so much. But Joe, you were already in it from last night, so I just say thank you again. Jay Britz, another great show with interesting topics. Thanks, Frank. Hello to the impeccable Stowe Stube. They really like each other, those two. And then I got that from Stowe Stube before. All right. I got a little bit of, let's see here. Jay Semo says, happy Monday on Rumble. That is our one and only Rumble ranter. Thank you. Thank you so much. Something's going on with Rumble. Numbers across the board are just dipping. I'm not talking about Rumble rants. It's always been modest, and I love everybody over there who contributes to the show. But I never Rumble metrics. I don't understand, and there's something that was always been off about them. You can tell that things are great because people are, when people are especially chatting up in the chat room, that's a wonderful sign. But I don't know. There's very strange ebbs and flows. And we are at an ebb right now. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Joseph. The Sentinel. Oh, we said that. Sentinel says an Irishman walks into a bar in Ontario and orders a Guinness. The bartender notices his accent and asks why he's in Canada. The Irishman retorted that recently he was in a pub and had his Guinness served on a coaster and said that drink Canada Dry. So I says to myself that I would give it a go. Okay, gotcha. That's a good one. I just put the Sentinel and Joseph777 in there. It says Rose is amazing. She's a store of true wisdom. Yes, she is. Thank you, Tomcat. Thank you, everybody over there. So let's see who wins, right? Okay. The first one up, remove name from list after the drawing. Yes, there you go. Number of winners. No, we'll do one at a time. The first name, Safety Net. Safety Net 820. That's Lynn. I feel like she just won like a week or two ago or something. But anyway, Safety Net, you get the first prize. That is a bag of Keto Brainz with a sample bag of coffee. And of course, I'm going to send you a Polaroid. Say hello. All right, so Safety Net, get in touch with me. Email me, Safety Net. Let's pick again. Tyler Rubel. Tyler Rubel has the full bag of coffee and the samples of Keto Brainz, and of course, some other stuff from around my house. Tyler Rubel, get in touch with me. Frank at quitefrankly.tv, and our honorable mention, Jay Britz. Jay Britz, you, I don't know if Jay Britz already has a Set the Charge CD. I figure that's something he might have already have. Jay, if this is something that you want to pass on to somebody else, you let me know, and I will put it into tomorrow night's show. That's it. That's all I got. Jay Britz, I'll do that, and some Yes Cacao Wild Balls for you. Get some of Justin Polgar's balls over there where you are. Keep you some good company over the course of the next few shows. All right. Well, everybody, that's all I have for you tonight. And I just appreciated the time with you all, just having a good time and relaxing with some topics that are a little bit less news-based, but always real life. Tomorrow, I have some thoughts. I want to talk about organ harvesting. I think that'll definitely be an organ harvesting night, and we'll also see what's going on in the news, and we'll also see who might be able to be a last-minute guest consideration. You just never know what's going on. But on Wednesday and Thursday, we got great guests and a lot of things cooking for the weekend, so I appreciate you guys, and if you have anything you want to contribute to tonight's show, leave it in the comments section, number one. Give the show a like, share it with somebody, and please, not only go and check out VERSO, that is in the description of the episode. We're going to be talking about the science behind their entire brand. It's really wonderful. I'm going to start using their Cell Being soon as well, but the one thing I gravitated to was their Evening Being, because it's a wonderful before sleep drink, very tasty, very relaxing, and I can tell you, it has given me some great night's sleep already, and it's going to be part of that and the BPC 157. I just started that last night, so it looks like I'm going to take the BPC 157 and the Evening Being around the same time. So check them out. If you want any more information, email me. Other than that, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one and be well.
Goodbye.
All right. That's it. What chaos was that?
I'll catch you on the flip side. Goodbye.
All right. That's it. Thanks, everybody.
Will you shut up? No.
Hey, everybody on Pilled. I know we're on D Live right now because I want to drop the, I want to open up the whatchamacallit. I want to dump out the treasure chest. But on Pilled, you know this is what we're going to be doing soon, right? Starting in August, when everything ends, it's 9:01 p.m. The fun for you and I is just about to begin. That's the way that it all works, my friends. That's it. I mean, there are a couple of hundred of you right now hanging out with me, about 300 of you right now on Pilled. This time next week, every night that we're all that we get off, I mean, on a Monday, on a book club night, it's going to be members only, and of course that's for book club sessions and stuff like that. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, yeah, it will be fun. Vesper, Stephen, and Lori, I'm looking at you guys right now. There is nothing that I have in front of me except to talk to you guys, take some calls, to hang out with a guest for a little bit longer, read your gold pills, react to videos. Those videos are going, those reactions and the things that we watch together are going to be feeding all of my needs for creating middle length content that will be on YouTube. Thank you everybody on D Live cutting off right now. So now it's really just you and me. How's it feel? How does it feel? And there's also other things that are going to be here on Pilled that I can't wait to use. Matt 1776, one of the head honchos, was talking about how there's going to be all these great new features to use, call-in features and all of that. So it's going to be good, man. It really is. I'm really excited about it all, and it'll be nice. And this is also where all of the Saturday night content is going to be. Really cozy stuff, specialized content. I feel better about it because then I feel like I will have the opportunity to take what we do here and make choices on where I want to syndicate it, where I want to premiere it elsewhere. I don't know. There's just some things I feel is just better with a little bit more of a cozy group. And those who really want to be a part of it, they'll come out. And that's going to be those are the folks who I'm really targeting with all this. There's no real barrier to entry. It's just one click. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, if that's all you got, that's all I got too. Look at all those nice emojis. Whales jumping up in the air. What the hell's everybody doing? Pill.net, Frankly's. From now on, blow this free red pill number up. Oh, yes. Yes, guys. Hit the red pills. Red pill, baby. Red pill it all. The suspense is terrible, says John Otter. Rev says, still live over on you. What? What are you talking about? I'm not live on YouTube. I can see it right here. I'm live on YouTube? I shouldn't be. I see it on Restream. I clicked off everywhere. Oh, damn. What have I done? It's Restream's fault. So, yeah, anyway, that's what this is going to be like at the end. I can't wait. Especially if we have like someone like Timothy Alberino coming on. He'll be chilling with us over here and, another half hour with Jay, Matt, whatever. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a taste. This was only a test.